Welcome to the Everything Podcast.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast Season 2, Episode 3. In this episode, I will discuss a variety of trailers. But first of all, let's talk about the DCU Chapter 1 slate reveal that took place only a few hours after the release of the last episode. Here is that slate reveal.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that was the reveal for, part of the DCU Chapter 1 slate. But next up, it's the trailers. And the first trailer I will talk about this episode is the Flash trailer, like what James Gunn said at the beginning, because that's coming out, I think it's June time, that was released during the Super Bowl. Here is the trailer for the... So that was the trailer for The Flash. If my voice sounds a bit lower than usual, I'm recuperating from the sore throat, so that's fine. The next trailer I'm going to talk about is the second trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Here it is.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm Star-Lord. I formed the Guardians. Met a girl, fell in love. That girl died, but then she came back. Came back a total dick.
Oh, please. He left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
I get the same old dreams, same time every night. Fall to the ground and I wake up.
My sacred mission is to create the perfect society.
He didn't want to make things perfect. He just hated things the way they are.
I want you all to know that I am grateful to fight beside my friends.
Incinerate them. We were always searching for a family until we found each other. Are you ready for one last ride?
We'll all fly away together.
Into the forever and beautiful sky.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? That's ridiculous.
Do not bring me into this.
Knock it off!
What? Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
Yeah, that was the second trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which releases in May. Next up is the Neighbours section. As I mentioned in an episode in Season 1 of the podcast, Neighbours is returning in 2023. In that video, they announced that, as well as a brand new season in the second half of 2023, there would also be the release of classic episodes. Here is a trailer with some more news about the release of these classic episodes. here it is.
Hey,
Yeah.
do you know what's good about February?
I don't know, Valentine's Day?
Nope.
The weather in Australia.
Not even close. You're forgetting this is the year of Neighbours. And in February, Amazon Freebie will be showing most of the iconic episodes of Neighbours that have ever been filmed, along with all the episodes from the year 2012 for you to stream.
2012? Oh, that was a top year. That was the year Susan took up pole dancing.
That was the year that Susan's sister Carmel made a play for Carl.
She did. Cheeky old Carmel.
Yeah, that's right. So, just after that was released, it was announced that all of the 2012 episodes would be arriving on February 23rd, which is tomorrow for when I'm recording this, because I'm recording this on February the 22nd, 2023, as well as some of the most iconic episodes. Here is the Neighbours 2012 trailer.
We have something we want to tell you.
Susan and I, we've decided to separate.
Why?
We've been having problems for some time. We need to put all this behind us and start doing what we should have done months ago, living separate lives. I'm going to move out.
This isn't the first time I've heard you make comments like this about Noah. You're accusing him of having a crush.
He does have a crush, and it's on you.
I really loved him, Kate. I know.
Could you come inside with me, please? There's something that we need to talk about. Kate, what's wrong?
What's going on?
I kissed a student and I quit teaching.
You know, Kat, this is not the real you.
Who is the real me?
Kate just found out that her ex-boyfriend died. I don't think she knew what she was doing.
Why didn't you tell me Michael's dead? Every decision I make, it's about you. I'm sick of it.
Look, trust me, Kate. Don't turn your back on family. It's something you'll regret for the rest of your life.
You and Jade, we kind of had a friends with benefits thing going.
You wanted more?
Yeah, I know what this is about. I asked, and you knocked me back. It's cool.
My last relationship was bad. He hit me. That's why I go for guys who won't want anything serious.
Do you honestly think I was with Mal for kicks?
You know what? I don't care why
you were with Mal. Well, you should! It's because of you! I've been in love with you for months.
Have you told her anything about her mother?
You haven't been a part of this family for
Yeah, I know
15
exactly
years.
how long it's been, Michael. I just want to get to know my niece.
You were never going to tell me, were you?
What is it?
It's a copy of Mum's death certificate. She drowned, Dad!
He tried to save her. He couldn't.
Why didn't he just tell me?
I don't think he's ever forgiven himself.
Is this where it happened?
Yeah.
I can't do it. This is exactly where it happened. We were in there, cheating on Helena while she drowned.
You know, errands were inside out. That's exactly why I hired you.
You're gonna buy out our friends' businesses for a car park?
You want to bulldoze the yard and put the car park here?
Yep.
That is a lot of cash.
I won't be intimidating to selling.
You're throwing away an amazing offer.
Tony, stop!
I've got the developers screaming down the phone at me for a result. Try another angle.
Chris got bashed at the garage.
I didn't see who did this.
I'm gonna find the scumbag, whatever it takes.
That cracked rib is sitting right against his lung.
Find out where he is. We need to get hold of him.
You tell him I had nothing to do with this, you scumbag!
What you did to me was unforgivable.
I'm never gonna understand girls.
Funny how Audrey's always found her way back to Ramsay Street.
Hard place to live.
That was the Neighbours 2012 trailer there. And that's it for Season 2, Episode 3 of the Everything Podcast. See you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Everything Podcast. If you want to get in touch with me at any time, you can do it in a variety of ways. You can email everythingpodcast2022@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at everythingpodc. You can also find me on YouTube by searching for the Everything Podcast. I'll see you for the next episode of the Everything Podcast.